Hi, I'm Nate PK of pnwspeyfinatics. I've been spey fly fishing for a few years now, and recently I've been focused on scandy fly fishing and getting some surface eats or topwater, where the fish comes out from the bottom and grabs the fly on top of the surface. I've always dreamed of going to Alaska and fishing there, so this is my story. I got up at dark early and headed to SeaTac, Seattle-Tacoma Airport, to fly to Anchorage and catch some connecting flights to my destination. When I got to the airport, though, I found out that my flight has been canceled, so I was sent to a line with 50 other people to try to rebook my flight. And I really wanted to try to get there and save my vacation, so I ended up booking an alternate flight to Anchorage, and I made it there, but I missed my connecting flight by 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes. So I had to stay overnight and then catch some connecting flights the following day. Anchorage was raining heavily, and I wondered, is this a preview of my vacation? After finishing my first connecting flight, I did a quick weigh-in at the airport to make sure I didn't drink too much beer, and I had kept within the small airplane's weight limits. If it was possible, it was raining even more heavily than Anchorage. I flew with the great pilot on Grant Aviation to get to the fish camp. And Alaska was everything that I thought it would be. Wide open spaces, a lot of wild rivers. We landed at the fish camp destination, and I couldn't help but feel a little bit excited to start my week-long journey.
And keep your tip all the way down so you have a direct connection. You want that tip right on the water. The wind is moving downriver on my left shoulder. You missed it. I saw him. He came up with his nose and he nudged it. Oh, you see that? That's 3 mistakes. But you can see them come up from below if you have your glasses on. You have polarized glasses. Yeah, I don't think you missed any of those snakes. They missed it completely. And it's probably all separate fish. Trip, 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 trip. All right, we got our first pink in Alaska. No. I'm in Alaska. On a surface tree. So pink is what the chum like, Mike? Yeah. Is that your go-to color? Pink works really well. Pinks and purples. And even when I'm swinging for it, I'll do some orange. Orange usually works pretty well. There's days when they're there in numbers where you're catching them on anything, even king colors. Chartreuse, black and blue, doesn't matter. Yeah, special fishery, catching chum and pinks topwater. Just a little bit more. There you go. Oh, let's take a look at that. There you go. Oh, fiberless hook, and I'll bring something down. There you go. It's got sea lice on. Beautiful fish.
Okay, Paul, so how should we fish this?
Well, basically, casting out into a pretty good sized pot of salmon that are up in this little pond here. and it's just basically like a old channel that's kind of turned into a beaver pond. Salmon have run up inside here through this little channel to our left, and we're basically casting in the middle of the pod and just little pulses, little strip, and you don't want to set the hook until you really feel the fish on there. And most of these fish right now in this little pond are pink salmon. There's more chum towards the back of it, but right in front of us are all pinks.
Any tips for fishing the gurgler?
You know, just kind of let the fish tell you what they want. Some days they want just a continuous, quick retrieve. Some days they want just a very slow nudge on the surface. Some days they want a hard pulse and then a stop. So you just kind of let the fish decide for you. That's a chum there. Anytime you see the big shark come up, it's a chum.
What size fish do you think we're catching?
You know, the pink salmon are maybe like 2-3 pounds, and then the chum are more like, you know, in that 8 to 12 pound range. Another week, this whole thing will be all silver salmon. Heading down the channel. He's leaving. He's going around the corner.
How far would these fish chase?
You know, they'll chase, 30, 40 feet until they finally eat it aggressively enough to get hooked. Sometimes they eat it right away pretty hard. Other times they just nip at it.
And then how should you fight the fish?
Just have a good C shape in the rod, maintain good pressure. Let the line slip through your fingers for any sort of head shake. And if you got a bigger fish and you've got them on the reel, really let that fish head shake to the reel.
Now, this river right now is a little different if we've got more water, but on average, the deepest points are only about 12 feet. And when the fish are moving, they're not in those 12-foot deep spots.
So I was telling Matt, we fish in Washington and we frequently get blown out rivers, and it's kind of a high and dirty lot. So what would you recommend as some high water, dirty water tactics for kings?
I think focusing on the insides, travel lanes where they're going to be moving up, fishing your fly quicker than normal, broadside so they can see it. we can get even to the fish and swing around to the left, we have this really good solid side pricker.
We have a lot of debates as newbies. Is it rod tip up? Is it rod tip toward the bank? Is it rod somewhere else?
I think to the bank is your best bet.
Oh no, and we're using barbless flies, so I think it just popped off.
You may wish you had a 10 weight on some of those fish, but you still use the 9s.
Oh, nice.
Nice work.
Nate. So tell us about this fish a little bit.
This looks like a buck, fresh from the ocean. Got sea lice on the tail there. He just swam in this morning. A nice fresh sea lice with the white tails. That's how you can tell they're fresh. Those white tails will fall off after about 24 hours in this fresh water.
Interesting.
Yeah, beautiful fish. Got a little bit of abrasion there on its head. It made it through a net out in the ocean somewhere. Yeah, it's a beautiful specimen.
So black and blue, close to the salt.
Yep.
Unweighted fly. Let's let it go. By day 3, we had a fair amount of rain, so the rivers were high, and the winds were up to mid 30 miles an hour, making it challenging to cast. We targeted the inside lanes, the soft water, and the high water in hopes of catching a fish. Day 3 was a hot mess for me. I had no problems swinging and hooking chum, but for some reason everything broke down, and I had a hard time fighting these chum. They were powerful, fresh from the sea, and maybe I didn't have enough steady pressure on the barbless hooks, or maybe it was because it was cold outside and my fingers were too cold to function. But by the afternoon and end of day, I was able to find my groove and start landing these fish.
All right.
All right, Sam, what do we got here?
So Holly Martin took it on the swing. Yeah, new species for the week for you.
After day 5, it was time to go. I had caught a ridiculous amount of salmon. I had lost count every day, and I learned how to top water for salmon, so it gives me confidence to scandy in the future and top water for other types of fish.